Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take another look here at Solana, double check a few important factors, such as the CME gap. We're going to talk about that and that it's partially filled. We got 122 to 124 still left in the cards there. So keep in mind that could incentivize the price to pull back here. But congrats to our community for securing some nice profits on our Solana short. Only about 14%, a little additional profit from our previous, we secured a lot of profit in the 129 range, but we did secure more profit there, 20% for Bitcoin with a short at about 85,000 to 83.2. So that is awesome. I'm mentioning that because if you saw my Bitcoin video, you'll know that that's half the reason why I mentioned leaving your short position open or for you to consider a short for Solana. Once more, these are tighter margins. We're not trying to get super crazy. We're really just trying to find little wins throughout the day. And the truth is, getting these massive movements, these big old, like parabolic moonshots, that's just a thing of the past, folks. Now that big money's involved, there's a decent chance we won't be seeing that again for some time, if at all. But good news is Solana is one of the coins that has that propensity to do very well when it does. We just got to be realistic here and know that there's a lot of manipulation in the market, and until that dissipates, it may never, we got to work within the ranges that are provided to us. So let's take a quick look here and kind of recognize where we're at. Don't forget to hit the like button, maybe even comment below. What position do you have open with Solana right now? Did you take that short? Let's take a look here. 135 to 137 upper liquidation, lower range 123 to 120. So we have liquidation in both directions. So it just doesn't necessarily tell us a ton. It just kind of lets us know that, hey, we get closer to those areas, we'll probably see a quick wick down or quick wick up to manipulate any late longs or shorts. That's really what it boils down to. When it comes to liquidation delta, though, you're better off taking a short than you are taking a long, just based on the simple fact that we have more people shorting than taking longs. And that's just kind of the natural way of things, folks. You go with the grain, you don't go against it. I don't know if you've ever turned accidentally into a one-way street downtown, whatever city you're in. That's a terrible feeling, right? That's how it should feel when you take a trade against the grain, right? The trend is down, go with the grain, okay? So not saying you should necessarily short at this exact level, but it does feel like that is a better opportunity at this point. Keep in mind, Jerome Powell's giving a speech here today at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you got to keep in mind that that's going to fluctuate the price action a lot, and that could very well send candle wicks in either direction. Usually best to avoid trading altogether. Last but not least, open interest. We can see 126 and 120 as those two heaviest concentrations below. We got a lot of resistance at 130 to 132 based on open interest. And if we do kind of zoom in here, we can see our point of control, if I'm not mistaken, we rejected off that pretty soundly here at 129. So we have the most amount of volume at 129/130. That's the new resistance for us. Okay, that's generally how it works. So that's kind of where we're at there. This play out here did work out. This is a rising wedge pattern, if you're not familiar. They do technically break to the downside more frequent. Keep in mind, these patterns are based on the analysis showing that we had divergences, not because it's just a magical pattern that essentially told us that we're going to go down with the price. Okay, most of it's predicated on the fact that Bitcoin is going to pull back, or was going to and did. That's really what it boils down to. So had Bitcoin continued higher, I think Solana would be in the 130s to 140s right now. That's just how it goes right now. Okay. So daily time frame, recognize this here. We're kind of in this little channel, so to speak, between the 50 and the 20. Bitcoin's roughly the same exact scenario, has yet to close above the 50-day SMA. That implies that we're not quite bullish yet, okay? Doesn't mean you just go balls to the wall as soon as that happens. It just implies that for the most part right now, we're in a descending type of short-term trend, and until we get above that level, honestly, we probably want to be above our local high here too. I think 136 was that range. That's going to be an important level for us. Either way you look at it though, for the most part, everything's looking pretty good here. We're over 50 in the RSI, maintaining above our SMA, and stochastic is swinging down and MACD's losing momentum. It's very standard for 3 or 4 days worth of retracement. So what does that mean for us in the big picture here? Well, with the CME gap being mostly filled, this little range here is essentially considered to be a support range. So as previously described, 120 to 130 is a very loose estimate, more so 122 to 128 is that support range. So we can expect the price to kind of continue higher here. We may actually see one more retest here, and then the price take off from there, just as a typical manipulative wave down. We can kind of see that structure forming right now with our power of 3 potential. So let me just go ahead and kind of show you how this works. It's not 100% guarantee, but we've noticed with manipulation, it's the one thing you can count on in the market now. And if you look at this here, you can kind of see that we're working ourselves into this little lower channel, essentially. It's a little more easy to see on I think, smaller time frames, but I'm just kind of giving you the gist of it here. This is the general consensus, and if we do see a power 3 shakeout, we'll see the price action shoot straight up from here, right? But in most cases, you're going to see this lower manipulative phase last longer. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it's probably a little bit easier to kind of show you a, what is it? I got an education section here. This is roughly how it's supposed to work, okay? Manipulative wave and then an expansive wave after that. So we could be there, but all this is predicated on, you know, how good Jerome Powell's going to be to us here today. What's he got in the cards? What's he going to say? Those things are all going to factor in. So don't buy into this too much. I'm just kind of pointing that out to let you know that these kind of patterns are pretty consistent in trading. And you know, I think XRP is working itself into a manipulative wave right now, and we're more likely to see that take off. That's conversation for another day, but just again, one of the coins I covered pretty much on a daily basis. Either way you look at it here, the simple way to understand it is we're mostly bullish on most time frames, but we're starting to see a slight shift in momentum here. It's too early to say we're going to go straight down. We got to see if this low 120 range works as a support. I do feel like we're going to see that area retested here soon, and if so, we should pivot and bounce from there, pending Bitcoin doesn't make a run towards 83,000 or lower. Okay, a lot of these analysis on altcoins are just based on how Bitcoin does. Keep in mind, Solana and Bitcoin are performing similar-ish, and what I mean by that is most altcoins are pulling back pretty hard, whereas Solana is kind of holding its ground. So that's a good sign, right? It implies that there's a good pairing between the two, but it also implies that there's susceptibility for a sell-off. So just be mindful of that. I would not trade going into the Jerome Powell speech here today. It's just not a good recommendation. Either way, I hope you learned something today. Thanks so much again for watching. I look forward to seeing the next one. Take care of yourself out there. Bye-bye.